It's been a minute since I did a video giving an update on the DCU, and one of the reasons for this is that over the past week, we've seen so many articles and videos that were speculative in nature, and sure, I can make a video every second and I can get everybody excited and tell them everything that they want to hear, but it's really not my style. Now, I'm not knocking people that do that kind of stuff or write those kind of headlines, and I understand that there's genuine excitement from Snyder fans about a possible SnyderVerse return, and while I respect that, at the same time, I want to try to be as honest as I can when I report on something. Now, a lot of the things that I've seen recently are recycled headlines, and even in some cases, things that I've reported on this channel months ago, like the fact that Superman was a box office flop, that Peacemaker was a disaster, so I try not to just repeat the same headlines over and over again, even though I know people are enjoying this very much, especially people that don't prefer James Gunn's style for DC. In this video, though, as I often do, I'm going to try to zoom out and look at a lot of the rumors and also bring you a little bit of insight that I can give you myself from my experience working in entertainment, and hopefully it will perhaps give a more balanced picture. Obviously, if you've been watching this channel for a while, I want to thank you for doing that. And if you're new and you want to get these type of DC updates, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it would really help boost my efforts. Let's take a look at some recent developments, even some rumors, just so I can give my quick assessment on it. And then, more importantly, I want to do a zoom out, as I sometimes do here on this channel, and see what the real status is, what we can realistically expect, and also update what I think Snyder's current odds are for bringing back the SnyderVerse, because if you recall initially, a few months back, I said it was about 10%. At some point it went up to 30%, 40%, and even 50%. But things keep changing, and I want to reevaluate that, which I'll do towards the end of the video. Let's look at some articles. One of the places that's been doing a lot of reporting is Cosmic Book News, and I like the articles that they put out, but I will say that especially over the last week when we're trying to figure out what's going to happen with this Warner Brothers sale and all the bids from the different parties that want to buy it, there has been a lot of speculation in their headlines. Today there was an article they wrote about Trump possibly backing Ben Affleck's Batman because back in the day he liked it, and he has a relationship with Brett Ratner, who in the past co-financed those movies. In addition, it looks like just today Trump was able to convince the heads of Paramount to greenlight Rush Hour 4 with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, which is a movie that he really wanted to see materialize. So at least it shows that he really does care about what's happening in pop culture and directly giving input to people what he'd like to see. But with all of that being said, even if Trump once gave Ben Affleck a compliment as Batman, we don't know if Ben Affleck is in a mindset that he'd want to revisit this role. I don't get the impression that he has a good relationship with Trump either, so it's kind of a wash. Not to mention that nobody's really in a position to make him an offer now. It is very possible that the Saudis have talked to Zack Snyder, that Zack Snyder has talked to his cast. Talking, sure, but at the end of the day, right now, everybody's submitted bids for Warner Brothers, and they say that they want to look at another round of bids that'll be higher, because they feel that it's not enough money. So basically, Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav is still holding all the cards close to his chest as he tries to figure out which offer he's going to be taking. So we really don't know how this exactly will turn out. Cosmic Book News also mentioned that James Gunn had pivoted to Super Family instead of doing his whole DCEU as he initially had planned, and there was an article in Deadline that questioned his future. To be fair, I actually reported on the same story with the Super Family on August 18th, 2025, which was likely the first time it was reported. But if you ask me, beyond all these kind of articles and headlines and little tidbits, and that includes Zack Snyder posting photos on his Instagram or the relationship he has with Saudi Arabians and all that other stuff, I think the important thing to look at now is not only who will end up owning Warner Brothers, but also at other technical information that we're getting from some trades, like this article from Deadline today that said that even if somebody buys Warner Brothers now, it could take an entire year for regulators to approve it and for the new owners to physically take control. And that would mean that it probably could give James Gunn the type of cushion he needs to, if nothing else, complete his Superman saga. He can release Supergirl, he can release Lanterns, he can at least finish filming Man of Tomorrow. So, I've said before on this channel that regardless of who buys Warner Brothers, it may not even be worth it for them to fire James Gunn. It could be that they'll just show up, his contract will expire, nobody will renew it, and the new regime will come in and decide what they want to do. Now, do I think that Snyder has a chance to come back and do something? I think he does have a chance. But even though I think that there is more chance today of that happening than ever, and that Zack Snyder is in the best position that he's been in years, I still will say that the odds that a new owner will come in and just fire James Gunn and appoint Zack Snyder 5 minutes later is not very likely. But regardless of anything, even if for some reason Warner Brothers wasn't sold tomorrow, there's one genie that has been let out of the bottle that's hard to put back in. People are not happy with Gunn's version of the DC universe, and at the same time, a lot of people are calling for Zack Snyder to return, not only people that were always his fans, but also people that may not have been the biggest Zack Snyder fans. You see, what's happening is, somehow, there's growing appreciation for Zack Snyder's movies, even for people that criticize them, because I think at least they feel epic, they had a good cast, and they felt more like legitimate superhero movies to a lot of people. Now, personally, myself, I've always been kind of neutral about Snyder. There were things that I did like about Snyder's movies, but at the same time, I had always felt that the writing in the screenplays that he was given for those movies wasn't strong enough. With that being said, I've always felt that if Snyder was given a good screenplay to work with and the right production team, he could deliver a good movie. And just recently, I had echoed this statement on a panel hosted by the Critical Drinker on his channel, which I was honored to be invited to. Interestingly, there were people on that stream that were not fans of Snyder at all, and that's putting it mildly, but with no exception, all of them shared the opinion that Snyder is preferred over Gunn when it comes to DC, and in a live poll that happened on that very stream, over 90% of the thousands of people that were watching voted to restore the SnyderVerse, which was pretty surprising to see, but at the same time, it's also very telling about the type of momentum that Zack Snyder is building here. And I think it's clear now that regardless of who buys what and what exactly happens with Warner, James Gunn is now witnessing his whole DCU idea crumble in real time, whereas this kind of resurgence and unprecedented support for Snyder and his SnyderVerse is really gaining steam. And people are noticing this, and the trades are noticing it, and I'm sure that corporate executives are noticing it. Now, when it comes to stupid Hollywood studio decisions, there's no shortage of that. We've seen enough franchises managed poorly over the years, so you never 100% know how it'll turn out. But over the past few months, I'm gradually becoming more of a believer that Zack Snyder coming back can actually, at least theoretically, happen. And if the last time we spoke about it, I said that I thought that Snyder had a 50% chance, after everything that I've been seeing, I will now upgrade Zack Snyder's odds of returning with anything Snyderverse related to 60%. That's where we're at now. Maybe after I learn who ended up buying Warner Brothers, which is something that should happen within the next month or so, I think that at that point, we'll be able to get a better grasp about Zack Snyder's odds. But for now, because I'm cautious, I will say that I'm at 60%. And if you want to keep getting these type of updates from an independent entertainment news reporter like myself, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it would really help my channel. Thanks for watching, my friends. Thank you, and good day.
I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos. But